Hi again, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and a great start to the new year. We've just hit 100 subscribers now, and I just want to sincerely thank you all. You've all been super kind, extremely encouraging towards my content. So I wanted to make this quick video today to showcase what I have in store for you and what you could look forward to on the channel in 2024. Kicking things off with the competitive tournament list review series, it's no surprise they're here to stay. I think these are pretty successful in terms of filming and researching, and the response I get from putting these out there, I think they've been extremely helpful both to myself and others as well. Getting to see some of these top placing players, what they're taking, the rationale behind it, and trying to figure it out as to how they're making this list work. I really have a lot of fun making these videos, and I definitely want it to be a mainstay for the channel. However, I do need to preface and say that, as many of you know, January is when the balanced data slate comes out, usually towards the end of January within the last 2 weeks. For those of you who don't know, what this is an official document released by Games Workshop that has revisions to point costs and sometimes rule changes as well. So pretty significant impact, as you can imagine, on a video series where we're looking at the top placing lists, because the information is quickly invalidated if I make anything prior to this being released. As such, I need to wait until post-January to continue making these videos, simply because I don't want the information to be invalidated as soon as it's released. Furthermore, there's going to be a little bit of a lag between when this data slate is released and when tournaments start incorporating the new point changes going forward. As a result of this, I'm only going to be able to start making valid and legitimate videos on competitive tournament list reviews once this period has passed, which I'm estimating to be first or second week of February. However, until then, I will be putting out one last video before the data slate comes out on the competitive tournament list reviews, covering what was one of my favorite lists I came across this season. Next up, we have the long time awaited and requested detailed unit analysis video series. This is a new series to the channel. I'm thinking of calling it Should I Run X, where X is obviously going to be the unit within our roster. So what I'm looking to do here is really just have these detailed videos that are dedicated to each unit in our roster and really just take the time to fully explore their data sheet, showcase some math in great detail, which I honestly thought was really helpful when I did it briefly in one of the tournament lists we reviewed for the Brokir Thunderkin. I really want to start doing that more for most of the other units. However, it takes up too much time to put those into the event list review series. So I think I'm going to separate that and start making more dedicated breakdowns of each unit in their own unique videos, so we can take a look and give it the time and attention it needs and really focus on showcasing the value of what a unit can bring in full detail. Ultimately, what we're looking at doing here is just a detailed video series, a unit analysis, if you will. We're going to have math, we're going to look at data sheets, we're going to look at stratagem use, best case value, contextualize the role of the unit in the army, and ultimately decide if they're worth using. Now, again, the data slate's coming out end of January, and because of the points changes and maybe some rules changes that we might see, I need to wait until that comes out first. Otherwise, the information I present to you might be invalidated within 2 weeks. So as soon as we get the release of the data slate, we'll be having the first video of these come out in that week. Next up, could it be? Yes, it is another new series starting on the channel, and this one's called My Competitive List Evolution. The title's a work in progress. Essentially, what I want to do with this video series is make a more of an infrequent video showcase where we talk a little bit about my list, the current iteration that it's at, which is obviously going to be focused on the tournament and competitive focus side of the game. We're going to watch this list evolve throughout the season as I'm playing games, attending tournament events, and so on, documenting the changes, showcasing and explaining why I feel I made certain changes and why I think it'll be better for the list as a whole. This is going to be backed by in-game analyses, stats from my own personal games and attended events. I'm thinking of maybe throwing in some pictures of the tables I played on, maybe drawing an overlay to showcase where I had my units positioned. I think we could have a lot of fun with a video like this, although informative, I think it will be very infrequent. So maybe we're looking at something like once a month. So I have enough time to test out the lists and their iterations. I have time to play around with small configurations and changes. And then when I settle and I'm happy with the current version of the list, I'll make a video showcasing that, explaining how I got to that point. And then we'll do the same thing again within a few more months after that, whenever I make a significant change. So overall, I think this could be a lot of fun for myself, honestly, and for you too, if you are curious to see what a progressive list design looks like. And on my end, I also want to see the evolution of my list as I push myself this year to play more competitively. The next series I want to touch upon are the hobby vlogs. I really want to increase the frequency that I'm putting out these hobby vlogs for. I had intended to do fairly regular uploads, maybe weekly or so for these. I have a tendency to make the competitive videos towards the end of the week and the hobby vlogs at the beginning of the week, which was my goal at the start. However, there were some technical restraints that were stopping me from being able to record and upload these videos effectively. That is currently being resolved, but I do still want to put these out more frequently, take some time to record them, because honestly, it's why I love Votann, the hobby aspect of this. There's such a beautiful range with so much character, and being able to share this aspect of the hobby with you is great. They're also a joy to record. It's pretty easy for me from an editing perspective, so there's no reason for me not to be able to make these more frequently. I'm looking to hopefully start doing them weekly if the content permits and I have something to talk about, but to kick things off, we are going to start with the long overdue Army Showcase coming early next week. Last but not least, I had this idea. I'm not sure where it's going yet. I'm not sure how I see it taking shape, but I've noticed I've been getting a few comments on my videos asking for me to either review a list or to give my opinion on what I think a good list to run would be. And so I'm trying to find a way to scale this and maybe just get the community more involved in a process like this. I think it could be a lot of fun to be able to periodically take somebody's list in our community, put it up on the screen, and we all just look at it together and share our thoughts and feedback as to how we think a list like this could work, if there are any changes we want to make, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what is it lacking, what is it good at. Why not turn this into something more, turn it into something more fun? So this is an idea I'm brewing with. I'm not sure how to scale it yet. I'm not sure if people even want this. I think it could be really fun though. However, for now, as we just saw in this video, there are a few new series coming along the way for early 2024. So for now, I'll keep this one on the sidelines. But if it's something that does interest you guys, please let me know in the comments and I will read and use that feedback. All right, guys, so that wraps up the video here. Like I said, really quick, I just wanted to show you what I had in store for 2024. We have the competitive tournament list reviews that are going to be resuming post-January data slate. We have a new series about detailed unit analyses, another new series looking at my journey and list design as we progress into the more competitive scene, increased hobby vlog videos, and possible community ideas that are starting to brew. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.